Cheers. All right. With that, earlier we were talking about conversion rate optimization and doing some split testing with Kurt Elster. Now we've got Lauren, who's going to talk to us a little bit more about strategies for increasing conversion rate and her tool, which is like I would say almost like a no-brainer conversion rate optimization, right? Like is it not, like 99% of the time it works every time? Is that how it kind of works?
Just about, yeah.
Awesome.
We'll dive into some of those stats.
Here, I'll add your screen here, and we'll be sure to plug you in chat for TrustedSite. And here, I'll go ahead and get out of the way and just chat away with anybody here in the chat feed. All right.
All right. Thanks, Derek. Really appreciate you having us here today. And I'm excited to cover this topic as we approach what's expected to be a very lucrative and busy time of year for e-commerce merchants. So today we will be talking about how to build trust and increase conversions this Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So before I get started, quick background on myself. My name is Lauren, and I am the Director of Partnerships here at TrustedSite. While our company is fully dispersed across the US, I am located here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I've been with TrustedSite for about 5 years. So I oversee our platform, technology, and agency partnerships. And we're really excited to have partnered up with eCommerce for today's event. So I want to get started by quickly going over our agenda for today. First, we'll take a look at the current state of e-commerce and some of the trends we're seeing as we approach the 2021 holiday season. Next, we'll go over some trust building tips that you can put into place to give shoppers confidence in your brand and make them feel more comfortable completing their purchase. And lastly, with each of these tips, we will be taking a look at some real life examples of how to minimize friction through the buyer's journey and ultimately increase conversions on your site. So a quick background on TrustedSite and what we're doing to help merchants build trust and increase conversions. In case you aren't familiar, TrustedSite certification, which began as an extension of the McAfee Secure service, helps e-commerce businesses grow and protect trust so that people can make safer and smarter purchases when shopping online. So we offer a suite of certifications that sites can earn, from certified secure to verified business to issue free orders. And once sites have earned these certifications, they're able to display our trust marks throughout the customer journey. A little later in the session, we'll dive into some more details about the benefits of trust badges and our certification. So we're all well aware that the world looks a lot different. The e-commerce world looks a lot different since the start of the pandemic. Consumers have adapted to using digital channels to make their purchases, and more people than ever before are making purchases online. So I thought we'd start off by taking a closer look at the current digital landscape as it relates to e-commerce specifically. So since the start of the pandemic, we've seen tremendous growth in a few areas. The amount of consumers participating in online shopping, the number of new e-commerce websites emerging, and as a result, the growing cybercrime industry. So taking a closer look at some of the numbers on this slide, you can see that this year, experts predict that over 2 billion people will engage in some form of online shopping, which equates to about 1 in every 4 people worldwide. With more and more people shopping online, new websites are popping up daily. The current estimate is that there's somewhere between 12 to 24 million e-commerce websites worldwide, more popping up on a daily basis, which means there's a lot of competition and you really need to make your business stand out. And lastly, with the increase in online consumers and websites, it's estimated that cybercrime has turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry. So we're seeing over 500,000 new pieces of malware being discovered daily, and a cyber attack happening on average every 36 seconds. 60% of these attacks involve customer credentials, meaning customers' personally identifiable information. That includes name, phone number, email, mailing address, and credit card information. So because of this, merchants are increasingly vulnerable to data breaches and data loss, and consumers are becoming increasingly wary. In a recent survey we conducted at TrustedSite, 92% of consumers reported that they are concerned about shopping on unfamiliar sites, with loss of credit card information being their #1 concern. So while more consumers have grown accustomed to shopping online, concerns around identity theft and the security of their personal and financial information are at an all-time high. So unless a consumer has already interacted or previously purchased from your website, there's a chance that they're going to arrive on your site and naturally have some underlying concerns. So the question then becomes, how can you as a merchant combat these concerns and help consumers overcome these fears? We're going to address that shortly, but first let's take a look at a couple more stats around what we can expect to see this holiday season. So as expected, many consumers will continue to do their shopping online this year. According to eMarketer, experts are predicting e-commerce sales will surpass $206 billion this year, which accounts for about 19% of total holiday retail sales. To give you an idea, that's an 11% increase on top of the major increase we already experienced in 2020. So for merchants, this presents a huge opportunity to capture holiday traffic and grow sales significantly. But there will be a lot of competition. So you can't just sit back and expect those sales to roll in on your website. You need to be thinking about how to make your business stand out, how you'll make a good first impression with new visitors. Because, like we discussed on some of the previous slides, consumers are concerned about getting their personal information stolen. They are very selective with what they buy and who they buy it from. So you want to make sure you have a trust building strategy in place that gives shoppers the confidence to move forward with completing their transaction. So what can you do to help consumers get past those fears? Now we're going to walk through some trust building strategies that you can put into place this holiday season and beyond. Along the way, I'm also going to highlight what TrustedSite is doing to address each of these strategies as well. So tip number one, make it clear that you are a legitimate business. When first arriving at an unfamiliar site, consumers have little to no pre-existing knowledge about who runs the site, how long the site's been in business, whether or not they fulfill their promises. So it comes as no surprise that 65% of consumers report having concerns about business legitimacy when they arrive at an unfamiliar site. This distrust goes back to some of the stats we were looking at earlier. Billions of dollars are stolen by scammers, posing as what appear to be legitimate businesses and charities. And because of this, consumers have become more aware, and many consumers who are new to buying online are worried about handing over their credit card information to brands they've never heard of before. So I'll give you a quick example of this. My husband has a small e-commerce business. They manufacture all of their own products. And like many e-commerce businesses, he runs ads on social media. Every once in a while, he'll see comments that say things like, "Oh, this product looks great. Has anyone purchased from them before? I've had a bad experience purchasing from companies I find on Facebook." So people are questioning whether or not his business is legitimate. Which is fair because they've been scammed in the past or had bad experiences in the past. So while this comment isn't necessarily a reflection of his company or his brand, other companies posing to be legitimate have made the online shopping more challenging for everyone. So what can you do to make new visitors believe that you are a real business that they can trust? One of the first things we always recommend is to include clear signals of business legitimacy on every page of your site. Reason being, between search engines, social ads, email campaigns, you don't always know where a consumer is going to land when they first enter your site. So you want to make sure you have all your bases covered. So a simple way to make sure you include a sign of business legitimacy on every page of your site is by simply including your contact information in your site's header and footer. Placing contact info like your phone number in the header is particularly important because it's so noticeable, which means shoppers can immediately understand that there are real people behind your business. And if they do have a question somewhere along their journey, they know that they have an easy way to get in touch with you and your team. Here's an example how one of our clients, the RTA store, makes it easy for visitors to contact them. You can see they clearly display the phone number in the header. They also have a drop-down menu that links to a Contact Us page, which offers a number of simple ways to get in touch with their team. In the footer, they've also included links to their social channels, a chat widget, and logos of notable partners and clients that they've worked with, which again just gives consumers a quick and easy way to see that this brand is legitimate and allows the brand to establish trust with their visitors. Another important note on this is to think about mobile as well. Don't forget your mobile site. Mobile commerce has steadily grown, and it's expected to surpass over 50% of total e-commerce market share by the end of this year. So make sure to consider where mobile users can find your contact information as well. The RTA store also uses the TrustedSite trust marks as another way of proving they're a legitimate business. They've embedded our floating trust mark on the bottom of every page of the site. And when visitors click the trust mark, it opens up to what we call our certification modal, which you can see pictured here. As the name suggests, the certification modal displays all the TrustedSite certifications the site has earned. And in this case, this includes our verified business certification. So we award this certification to sites that prove that they have at least 2 legitimate forms of contact information, which undergo a verification process that we have in place on our end as well. Once we've confirmed that the contact info is legitimate and accurate, it gets displayed on the certification modal so that visitors don't have to leave the site to go to Google whether or not this is a legitimate business. They can see that a third party has checked out the business and verified their information. I'm starting to get tongue-tied here as well. Okay, tip number 2, be transparent about logistics. This includes information about order fulfillment, expected delivery dates, shipping and return policies. Consumers want to know that they're going to receive their item as expected and when expected, and that if for some reason it's not exactly what they're looking for, sending the item back can be done with ease. If they have concerns about any of this, then they are more likely to abandon their cart. So with the pandemic came ongoing supply chain issues and shipping delays, which we can probably expect to see a little more of this year. Shipping companies will be doing their best to keep up with the demand, but it's important to provide your customers with honest and upfront information so that they can have realistic expectations. Doing otherwise can end up damaging your relationship with the customer or hurting your reputation. Including this information on product pages and in the shopping cart will help to set the shopper's expectation for when they can expect their order to arrive and avoid the disappointment of late arrivals, which can be a major issue during the holidays because many people are shopping for gifts that they need by certain dates. So the more specific you can get with your expected delivery dates, the better. Giving date ranges like 2 to 3 business days or 1 to 2 weeks is okay, but an actual date is even better if possible. You can see here our client, the Sunglass Fix, does a nice job of being upfront with customers about the shipping delays that could be incurred, along with each shipping method and how long each shipping method takes, setting proper expectations and establishing trust with the customer upfront. So here's another example of a certification we provide. TrustedSite's issue-free order certification surveys your customers post-purchase and lets you show potential customers that your business consistently delivers outstanding service. Once you've collected this information, you can then display what % of your orders you've fulfilled without any issues, along with stories or testimonials from satisfied customers. Again, giving that added reassurance to the consumer before they complete their purchase. So that takes us to tip number 3. Leverage social proof. People trust other people more than they trust other brands, which is why 93% of consumers read customer reviews as part of their online shopping journey. For as much effort as you may put into making your product descriptions clear and thorough, which, like Kurt was saying earlier, is very important, your customers are still going to want to hear what other people say about their experiences with your products. So if you haven't implemented a review service, this is something we highly recommend doing. There are a number of providers out there who offer free plans for websites who are just getting started. Not only can reviews help increase conversions this holiday season, but they can help improve your average order value as well. Research shows that consumers spend as much as 31% more when businesses have excellent reviews. A lot of the popular review services also help to build your star rating in Google search results, which helps you bring in more traffic that already knows you are a trusted business. So Lens Direct, another customer of ours, does a great job of showing off their reviews on their homepage. You can see some of those displayed here. In this case, they're working with Trustpilot, a partner of ours. And they also show these reviews on their product pages as well, which makes it easier for shoppers to learn more from previous customers. Displaying reviews on product pages is a really effective way to make use of helpful and positive feedback. I know when I'm purchasing a product online, I'm always reading the reviews before I make any sort of purchasing decision. And if there aren't reviews, I tend to question, how long has this business been in business for, if they don't have anyone kind of vouching for their products yet. Another best practice is to respond to as many customer reviews as you can, whether those reviews are good or bad. As much as we don't like negative reviews, they do happen, they will come in, and they present an opportunity to showcase your excellent customer service and learn how to make improvements to your business. So like I said, at TrustedSite, we partner with a number of trusted review providers to allow merchants to earn what we call our Trusted Reviews certification. So we currently work with Trustpilot, Reseller Ratings, Verified Reviews, and are about to go live with Reviews.io as well, to allow merchants to integrate and display their aggregate star rating directly from their TrustedSite certification page. So visitors will see your rating and know that you've earned authentic reviews from one of our many partners. And they can see this directly from the verification modal. So moving on to tip number 4, offer protections with purchases. So concerns about the security of credit card information skyrocket once a consumer reaches the checkout and payment information stages of the purchase funnel. Many visitors feel this is the biggest risk of the entire checkout process, because if their credit card information were stolen, their identity and finances could immediately be impacted. Because of this, a lot of sites will offer services like, I think Kurt and Derek were reviewing earlier, you could see in the checkout, they have PayPal, Apple Pay, and alternative payment methods so that customers know their most sensitive information is managed by a third party that they're more familiar with. Seeing these logos and these other options to purchase through just puts consumers at ease a little bit more if they are having any sort of hesitation. In addition to identity theft, other consumer concerns include an item arriving broken or damaged. There are vendors available to merchants that offer insurance or product protection plans that protect the buyer in case something happens to the product while en route. These types of offers provide added reassurance to the consumer and really help build customer loyalty. And one more I'll briefly mention that has become more popular more recently is offering the ability to split up payments through third-party companies like Afterpay. This has become, like I said, a popular and really a trusted payment method, and also eases the blow of paying for the entire cost of a larger item upfront. So something else to consider adding to your checkout. So Bodyguards offers various protections and guarantees to their customers, giving them that added confidence to move forward with their purchase. So you can see here, they offer free lifetime product replacements and 20% off device protection. They also accept both credit card and PayPal payments in their checkout. And at TrustedSite, we partner with a third-party insurance provider to offer what we call shopper identity protection to consumers as one additional form of protection. This shows customers that if in the event they were to experience identity theft within the next 90 days, they are eligible to receive up to $100,000 to cover remediation costs. We've noticed that this helps customers just feel a little bit more comfortable about moving on to the next step in the journey and completing their purchase. And that brings us to our last tip and our bread and butter here at TrustedSite, which is include visual trust indicators. So 66% of consumers say the presence of trust signals increases their likelihood to buy a product. We've talked about some of the certifications a site can earn and display, but now we'll go over some of the recommended placements for the trust marks themselves. So to recap a bit, services like TrustedSite can help you stay protected from a data breach and ease consumer concerns about shopping on your website by allowing you to display trust badges. In order to display the TrustedSite badges, you do need to pass a security check. So we scan the website on a weekly basis. If your site comes back free of things like phishing, malware, malicious links, you'll be able to then add the badges to your site to show visitors that it's safe to shop. Through years of research and A/B testing, we've found it's useful to include these types of trust badges throughout the customer journey because different concerns arise on different pages. In the A/B tests we've conducted, we've seen that not having a trust badge can actually lead to more abandoned carts and fewer sales. So let's take a look at how one of our clients is displaying the trust marks through their site to give you just a better idea of what the trust marks look like when they're on a live website. So this is our client, Allabird Sports. They are a running and racket sports retailer. And you can see in the bottom left corner of their site, they're displaying the floating trust mark. This shows the user the instant they land on the site that this merchant has taken appropriate measures to secure their site and that the site can be trusted. When a visitor clicks on the trust mark, that's when that certification modal will pop up that we showed you in some of those earlier slides. And that's where the user can see, here are the certifications that this site has earned. This site is safe. This site can be trusted. So here's a screenshot of their shopping cart. You can see here they're displaying the shopper identity protection banner. Again, letting the consumer know they are protected and that it's safe to move on to the checkout. And lastly, here's the checkout. Of all Trustmark placements, we highly advise placing a payment security badge near the credit card information field in the checkout. To reiterate, with all of the concerns we're seeing around identity theft and those concerns being at an all-time high, in addition to nearly half of shoppers having abandoned a cart because they fear their credit card information won't be secure, placing a trust badge near these fields can significantly boost consumer confidence and increase your chances of getting a conversion. So speaking of conversion rate optimization, and some of this ties back to the conversation Kurt was having earlier around the importance of split testing, secure checkout badges. We really focus on that here at TrustedSite. So we actually ran an A/B test with Allabird Sports before they came on board as a client. They are a Shopify Plus store that ran an A/B test using TrustedSite's trust marks during the 2019 holiday season. One of our agency partners, our conversion rate optimization partner over at Blue Green, helped develop and run this test for us. We typically like to work with third parties to help us run these tests, just so that there can be no questioning of any of the results from any one party. This test ran for 4 weeks during the month of December. So during their busiest time of year, when they had the biggest increase in new visitors, they ran this test. During this time, the variation, we showed 2 variations, one with trust badges and another without trust badges. And we filtered traffic in a 50-50 split through each of those variations. And the variation with the trust badges resulted in a 16% increase in overall conversions and a 22% increase in conversions amongst new visitors, showing the significant impact that trust signals can have with unfamiliar shoppers. The Allabird team was really happy with these results, obviously decided to come on board as a paying client of ours. And this is a great example of a customer who was able to see the results and the direct impact that the trust marks can have on their site before deciding to implement or make those changes to their website. And here at TrustedSite, like I said, we are regularly running these types of tests to show our clients this type of data. To date, we've run nearly 100 optimization tests, and on average, we see that websites displaying the trust marks see a 3 to 30% increase in conversions, once again showing that trust indicators do work. So all that being said, this is not the time of year to skimp out on tools and services that can help you establish trust. A lot of the tools and strategies we talked about today, you can either implement easily on your own. For example, that very first tip of making your contact information visible and adding a phone number to your header, that's something you can do that's no cost to you or your team. And a lot of the other tools we referenced or mentioned do have free apps available on many of the major e-commerce platforms that can help you achieve some of these goals. And if you'd like to get started with TrustedSite, you can install our free app on Shopify and many of the other major platforms as well. I'd like to wrap up by extending a special offer to today's attendees. So we are offering qualified sites a free optimization test to measure the impact of TrustedSite's trust marks on your site. So with this opportunity, we'll work with you. We'll help you create a custom experiment plan and run a test at zero cost to you. This will hopefully show you that building trust with visitors can have a significant impact on your conversion rate. So if you are interested in taking advantage of this, feel free to shoot us an email at testing@trustedsite.com and someone will get back to you.
Amazing. Awesome, Lauren. Thank you so much. And I've plugged the link here. We can even put it up on the screen for everybody. Email testing@trustedsite.com. Or you can just click the link right here, ecomtech.link/trusted site will also probably get you basically to the same place, but the testing one is really important. I do agree. This is the kind of thing where you've got so much proof to the value that you add to sites. And it's really clear, in the beginning, and when I talk with a lot of e-commerce experts, they're skeptical. They're like, oh, what can a badge do, right? But when you add the features of the tool together, you're securing the website, and so there's layers of trust and a reason why it's more than just, I don't know, an icon, let's say. And that's why I think the conversion rate increased works so well. And that's why I recommend TrustedSite to a lot of my merchants, because it's like an easy win. That's just a quick test, prove that it works for you. Make sure you've got the budget and the growth of the company and all those things. You do have to have like sales. Like, it's not really necessarily for a very beginner store, even though you can install it early and it'll help. But long story short, it works. So use it. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Derek. Really appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Really quick from Antonio, main areas of the website that trust badges should be placed. What are your thoughts? I mean, it has to be the product detail page right around that add to cart button, I think, is one of the most important ones. But what else do you see?
Yeah, the footer placement tends to be really big. People tend to scroll to the footer just to look for FAQs, contact us, social links. So if you can have it there, that's a great spot. The product detail page, again, and by any of those buttons that are encouraging a user to take a next step or another action. So add to cart, and then the shopping cart, proceed to checkout, and then that final step of checkout. And we have tests that we've run that really analyze the data of each of those placements. And the further along we get in the checkout journey, the more impact the trust marks tend to have.
Awesome. Love it. All right, Lauren, we're going to move into our next session. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Derek. Thanks, everyone.